I'm Diana McCullum.
And I'm Andrew Rivenme.
And this is episode 4 of Fan vs. Fan for The Flash.
Emits some sort of substance. Not sure what it is, like a white flame. But it's not hot, it's cold.
Glasses look like they're made of the same tech. What are they for?
The glare. You'll see.
Who else knows you took this?
Just us.
No. Just me. Sorry, pal.
So in this episode of The Flash, we're seeing the very exciting villain of the week of Captain Cold coming into town with the freeze gun. And pretty chill episode all around.
Thought it was pretty cool.
It was pretty cool how he wanted to steal the diamond from the museum. So that was the main heist of it. And then we got Felicity Smoke coming to town from CW's also fantastic television show Arrow, which is a wonderful treat. So we got Felicity Smoke coming to town while Barry's having to deal with Captain Cold, and Star Labs is dealing with quite a few consequences of what they've developed and built and lost. So, Diana, what did you like about this episode? What's your pros?
I really liked Felicity Smoke, which seems like off because she's from the show Arrow. But Felicity is just so perfect, and I think Felicity highlights what's wrong with other parts of the show. Felicity is this great character, fully rounded out, really fun. You just want her to be on screen more, and then she's on screen with Iris, and you're like, oh, Iris, you got none of that. Like, I hope you took notes about Felicity being around, because Iris is so boring and unnecessary so far. She hasn't done a thing, and then Felicity just swoops in and is so much better for Barry, obviously. She's great, and like the actress is really fun. But also, she's kind of been doing vigilante work more than them. So Felicity comes in and gets to train the Central City team on how to be a team for a vigilante, which, you know, there's not a lot of people who have that work experience.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to say I'm putting that in my pro column for this episode as well. I love it. It almost felt like a corporate seminar on how to be a superhero group.
Yeah, I hope Harrison Wells paid her, because that was just top-notch consulting. What did you like about the episode, Andrew?
I really liked Wentworth Miller.
Really?
I really liked him as Captain Cold. I thought he was a believable Captain Cold for a fun, playful villain with a little bit of darkness to him. But I think he played it at a really nice balance, and just the sheer confidence of him walking away from the scene at the end, just calling out bluffs. And he was a powerful villain with a good scheme. So I really liked him overall as a villain. I look forward to him returning. I like that he's going to be the architect of what could potentially be a recurring rogues gallery.
My con kind of was Captain Cold.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. Not really Wentworth Miller as Captain Cold. He was a little over the top at some points for me. But as a comic book fan, I wasn't really in love with this iteration of Captain Cold. Man, he killed a lot of people.
He did, but that's on the writing. That's not on Wentworth.
No, but like, Captain Cold is still my con.
I get it. I'll agree with you that there was definitely a few problems with some choppiness of the writing and inconsistencies with the characters, but I think that Wentworth Miller really brought his best to what was at times inconsistent.
In the comic books, he's very against. It's not that he doesn't want to kill people just so the cops won't go after them. He's really not that much of a murderer. He's very much a guy who just wants money and bitches. I want to rob banks. I don't want to hurt anyone. I don't want to take over the world.
And he wants bitches.
I just want money for bitches. You know, he does kill people. I'm not going to say that he's always a nice guy, but comic book Captain Cold wouldn't have killed that many people, especially innocent guard bystander guy. He wouldn't have killed that guy. What didn't you like about this episode?
One thing that I didn't like about this episode was some mild inconsistencies in the world that they've created, which I realize it's a fantasy world, but weird plot-driving moments of being like, what the hell is even happening? That trivia night at the coffee shop?
Trivia night was terrible.
What world does that even exist in? It's a coffee shop trivia night with like 18 TV screens displaying it. Everyone gets a tablet. They got a wireless microphone TV host.
In the middle of the day, one team's in full cosplay. I think this might be the least believable thing I've seen on a show called The Flash.
I will describe my con of this episode as whoever the hell the set designer was. Because there were quite a few problems there. Like, the layout of the museum, even it didn't seem to quite make sense to me, and just the world that they created in there, and the random curator who was like, oh, he took the tour twice. He must be a criminal. What is going on there?
No, that made perfect sense. That made perfect sense. When you get a brand new massive diamond in your museum and someone takes the tour twice, yeah, I mean, that tour's probably really boring.
It's a new exhibit at a museum. People are going to take a tour more than once.
Nah. What did you think about Harrison Wells being kind of shifty in this episode?
Loved it.
Oh, you did?
Loved it. I loved Tom Cavanaugh in this episode, as I've loved him so far for the entire show.
I'm a little worried about how much you love him.
It's really good. He's doing a fantastic performance. And I like the fact that he has now this small staff after a devastating incident, and he should have power and authority over them.
But I really like, not so much Harrison being a boss and being authoritative, but I like seeing this little bits of darkness, because we do know he's just straight up murdered people. At least one person. He killed Simon Stagg. So we know he's capable of just straight up murder. To see him break his, like, nice guy routine in front of his staff, and you get to see that darkness, you're like, oh, they're going to maybe figure this out.
Well, I like that the darkness is creeping out a little bit, and I think it's not even particularly out of character. He's still a boss. He's a man who owns a company, and they just lost terrifying billion-dollar equipment of his.
That's fair, but I know I've had bosses and I've screwed up, and I've never had my boss go, never do that again. I mean, I think I might call HR.
Yeah, no boss has ever grabbed your arm, but no boss of yours has ever been a secret villain from the future in the past to guarantee the future, and then you lost their billion-dollar murder machine.
Easter eggs. Tonight's episode had an early one. The van that the diamond was stolen from was a Blackhawk security van.
Okay.
The Blackhawks are a World War II era kind of fighter pilot team who fought the Nazis. But every now and then in current continuity, there'll be like Lady Blackhawk or another just guy called Blackhawk. So I think the symbol was also the same, this eagle-looking thing. Probably a hawk. Another great little Easter egg is the curator who noticed that Captain Cold was taking the tour twice. If you looked at his name tag, it said his name was Dexter Miles, and Dexter Miles is the curator of the Flash Museum, which we will hopefully eventually get.
Oh, hot damn, the eye on you. Well done.
And another one I really liked was when Felicity showed up and she was watching Barry on the treadmill, she named a couple things she was worried that were going to happen to him. He was going to age really quickly, he was going to become dust in a red suit, and those are things that have happened to the Flash.
Oh, cool. See, I really liked that moment as well, because I thought that was a really great transition for Felicity Smoke to be the voice of the audience.
I thought it was great just to show Felicity was really smart, because she's kind of just predicted the future in a lot of ways. And I noticed that Harrison Wells kind of skirts around both things that she says, so he might also know these things are going to happen. So we got some comments tonight from our followers, and in regards to the arms dealer who sold the gun to Captain Cold, _RamRS says, Step 1, don't do it alone. Step 2, don't sell stuff you don't have insurance for. Great advice for arms dealers.
That's their entire job, though, is selling stuff that you don't have insurance for. You start selling stuff you have insurance for, why'd you insure it? That's getting sold. And 2, you're not an arms dealer anymore. You need to sell stuff you don't have insurance for. But the don't go in alone is kind of a big thing. Maybe go in alone. Have a backup plan. Do something. Grenades, bomb strapped to your chest, friend with a sniper rifle. Always befriend a sniper. If you're an arms dealer or any I'm going in alone person, sniper befriendment. Always key. Or C4 with a dead switch.
I think you're overestimating how many friends arms dealers have.
1 to 2, and they bought sniper rifles. If there's anything you want us to talk about next week, be sure to tweet along with us and hashtag FanVFan on Twitter, and we'll talk about it here.
And we'll probably talk about it on Twitter.
Everywhere.
Just those places.
Only the 2.
This has been episode 4 of Fan vs. Fan. I'm Diana McCullum.
And I'm Andrew Ivamy.
Make sure you follow us at Dorkshelf on Twitter.
And also subscribe to the videos right here.
And leave us a comment, and we'll read it next week. Thanks for watching.
Kicked him out.